I am Jason, and welcome to another episode of Historically Marked. I promise you this will be a rockin' episode. Well, not really or literally, but this does deal with rock and roll. Now, what do the Eagles, the Grateful Dead, Bob Hope, and Alice Cooper, what do they all have in common? Okay, yes, they were all important entertainment acts from the 20th century, and some still hold today. But what they all have in common, though, is they once played at this spot, which I'm standing in front of, the Mississippi River Festival, which is on the northern grounds of Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, also known as SIUE. From 1969 to 1980, this was a popular destination concert festival each year. And it wasn't a 1 or 2 day festival. It was pretty much a series of concerts that took place on this site every summer from 1969 to 1980. There's a lot of history, a lot of great bands played here, a lot of great acts. And here is the marker. I know there's a lot of text, so if you want to press pause, you can do that, but I don't think it'll do you any good because more than half of it are the acts that once played at this festival. It all started in the mid-1960s to 1969 when it was decided that the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra, obviously based in St. Louis, they wanted to put like a permanent site somewhere in rural Illinois. So what they did was they put it on the northern part of SIUE, which at the time was a then new university. And while they were at it, some of the organizers of that festival performance, which took place on June 1969, they decided to use its potential to book some popular folk and rock acts at the time. So during the summer of 1969, and this was even before the Woodstock Festival, Arlo Guthrie, Joan Baez, Janis Joplin, they all performed here. And like I said, I mean, this was before they even did their landmark performances in Woodstock. But this helped set off a new trend that would follow for the next 11 years. All this time, a lot of big name 70s acts up until the summer of 1980. August 23rd, 1980 was the last time a concert took place here. It was ZZ Top and the Henry Paul Band. And at the time, nobody really knew for sure, you know, if it was going to be the last one, but in May 1981, things sadly came to an end. Perhaps what made this real cool festival what it was the diversity and the eclecticness of all the bands and acts that performed here. It wasn't really limited to musicians, but Bob Hope, as I mentioned earlier, was one of the few comedians that performed here. And it wasn't just rock and folk groups, it was also R&B groups, even stuff that was way before the era, like Duke Ellington Orchestra. Also jam bands like the Grateful Dead and the Allman Brothers Band, even country acts like Emmylou Harris. So yes, a lot of people had stuff to choose from throughout those summers. Man, it would have been a cool experience to be at this festival. And a lot of people are still alive to tell their stories, so if you know somebody that went to the Mississippi River Festival, I'm sure they will have a great time just telling you their stories. And there were some acts that were left off this marker, I'm sure because it would just be way too long. But like bubblegum pop groups like the Osmonds, they were here. Barbershop quartets, Kenny Loggins, Ambrosia, yacht rock in other words, Billy Squier, again Alice Cooper. I mean, the list goes on and on. Now, Elvis Presley and none of the Beatles, or the ex-Beatles I should say, were not here. Neither were the Bee Gees. All those people were big during the 1970s. So yeah, I mean, there's only room for, you know, so many. But this grassy area right here, this is where people sat on blankets. And I'm not entirely sure where the original stage was. People have told me that those trees over there, that was where the stages were all set up. And I'm not so sure how they did this road right here, but I'm sure it was blocked off at one point in time. All right, so now I'm looking through some of the, oh, here's a little, see that right there? That might have been where a pole was set, who knows? All right, so I'm gonna kind of look in the woods, and I believe this was once where the tents were set up, but I could be very wrong. Oh, here's another piece of a ghost thing. There's a fence pole. I don't know if you can see it, and actually there's two of them. There may be two of them right there. I see a fence in the woods. I don't want to go too far because of ticks, but I'm very positive that that's played an important part in the festival. So I'm going to continue to walk a ways down here. But unfortunately, most of the evidence is kind of gone at this point, and it's been pretty much replaced by trees and whatnot and bike trails. Now that right there, that building you see, that's a shed. So I'm going to kind of go out onto the field. So this is where the SIUE RC Club plays, and this is where they fly like model airplanes and I guess whatever hobby they can think of, maybe fly kites for all I know. But yes, this is the field where all the concert goers went and heard their famous musicians, and oh man, definitely was a great time to be alive in the 1970s, that's for sure. Some things had to come to an end, including the MRF. There is no real theory on what went wrong or how things went down or when the party was over, but some say it started in 1978 when the Nederland organization was contracted to take charge of booking the acts that performed here on the MRF grounds, and a lot of them, like I said, were a lot of big name acts and bands. But the school, SIUE, that owned this property, by 1980, they gave them an ultimatum. They said, book more musically diverse acts such as classical and opera, or we're going to kick you out. Well, it turns out the Nederland organization didn't back down. They just kept doing what they were doing. And unfortunately, none of the classical or opera acts happened. So that is one theory. Another theory is number two. It was a lot of money issues. It is reported that the school didn't make a lot of money from the Mississippi River Festival. Instead, they were losing a lot of money, even though several thousands of people came to enjoy these concerts. But there's really no evidence, even that exists today, on what really happened as far as financial issues. SIUE was founded in 1957, and this campus wasn't built until the 1960s, but at the time it was then known as a commuter school. Locals drove around just to get their higher education here, but it wasn't until the 1990s when people from all over Illinois, like Chicago to Carbondale to Southern Illinois, Northern Illinois, not just locals, they all came here as the campus grew and grew. SIUE does take seriousness in education, as they welcome people from all over the country and of course all over the world as well, as they have so many unlimited opportunities as far as pursuing a degree in bachelor's or master's or doctorates. So, but like I said, the MRF was a great blip in the timeline. It provided a lot of great memories to a generation. Unfortunately, my generation missed out on it. I was born in 1981. So I literally just missed it by a hair, as it ended in late 1980, technically. But for those who are here, I would love to hear your stories about what you did. Hopefully you didn't do anything too stupid. Hopefully you were sober. But I am Jason. Thank you for tuning in to Historically Marked. Keep on rocking. Happy travels. Signing off. Jackson Browne, the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, who had some great songs such as Somebody's Baby and Dr. My Eyes. He performed at the Mississippi River Festival at least 3 times. The first time he was a backup singer for the Eagles. Second time he was an opening act. Then he was finally a headliner. But did you know he wrote 2 songs while staying overnight at the Holiday Inn in Edwardsville. It is now Comfort Inn off of Route 157. Pretty cool, huh?